again, Yiheng is only competing against himself. So
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Plus 3, the only podcast that won't be terrorized by Tyrese Halliburton. I'm Matt Rosman, joined by John Epley and Manu Singhal. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Howdy, howdy. It's amazing watching Tyrese Halliburton, I must say. He's incredible.
Let's talk about something biggest thing probably of the year. Yiheng sub 4 average. John, what is this going to mean for the whole sport of speed cubing going forward?
So, speed cubing is currently in our Usain Bolt moment. The whole world just got put on notice that the fastest man alive is here, and we all know his name. It's Yiheng Wang. And not only is he making his status known like Usain Bolt, he's dominating over and over and over again. Call him Michael Phelps, dude. He's walking out with 23 Olympic golds. He has 16 of the 16 fastest 3x3 averages in the world right now. So the only competitor to Yiheng is more Yihengs. So this is just the start of a new era. This isn't where it ends. This is where it begins. We're going to go into world championships, and I think that's exactly where the Michael Phelps comparison is going to come in more clutch. I mean, I think we're going to see him consistently. He broke through this barrier, and he's going to continue to go. I don't think we see this as a ceiling. I think this is just the beginning of something new. And it's going to open the floodgates for all the other Chinese and up their game too. So I think it sets a whole new benchmark.
Well, if you ask me, there's so much conversation going around about how speed cubing is over, right? And so many people are like, whatever. Like now that sub 4 is here, we don't need speed cubing anymore. We're done. We're complete. I actually don't think so at all. I think it's actually incredibly inspiring what Yiheng has managed to do in just the short amount of time that he's been active, and at such a young age, right? If anything, I think we all should take a look at what Yiheng has done and been like, okay, wow, like it is amazing how far he has pushed the sport, how far he's pushed our hobby to this point in just the short amount of time that he's been around, and in like the biggest category, in the 3x3 category, right? It's amazing. And, the World Championships coming up, that is the final jewel in the crown, in my opinion. He has basically everything he needs to be cemented amongst the pantheon of greatest speed cubers, greatest cubers to ever live. And yeah, so if he can get the world's title, that'll be it as far as I'm concerned. Amazing stuff from him.
Yeah, I'm honestly in the same boat. Look, there's a lot of great athletes in history. Let's look at Barry Bonds or Ted Williams. A ton of different guys. Let's say the sub 4 average, I think, is going to be Yiheng's defining moment in his career. Now, granted, this is a young kid we're talking about. There's a lot of Yiheng left in the tank. But to me, why'd I bring up Ted Williams and Barry Bonds? You got to win it. You got to win Worlds for it to really have an impact at the level that it should be. I mean, look, let take it to the average itself. This is an average where there were 3 sub 4 singles in it, all right? Like, we have to think about it as like, obviously this is a gigantic moment. But if it gets swept up in about a month here, where he doesn't end up taking home the trophy, the championship, I feel like we might look back on it as something smaller than it actually is.
Yeah, I mean really need. Sorry, go ahead.
I think we're going to say the same thing there. I mean, again, Yiheng is only competing against himself. So if he fails this one world championship, I don't think anyone's going to say, oh, his moment's over. Man, like that means just the next 5 are going to go to him instead of 6 straight. I mean, it's Yiheng's opportunity to take not just this year, but year after year after year. And this is going to hopefully catapult us into a much more mainstream audience. That way people can continue to enjoy his solving.
I certainly hope so. But then again, I think there is like another narrative that also builds. If Yiheng cannot get it done this year, where he is significantly further ahead of the field, then it kind of is calling into question, right? Because this is going to be year 2 in a row for him where he's going to drop the world championship. But I think he should definitely have a chip on his shoulder going into it, right? Like he had the 3x3 single world record, albeit only for a short amount of time. But he's held both world records now, so it's not like before where he didn't have the experience. He didn't have the he's never been in front of the crowd. He's never been to America. All the excuses are gone at this point. It's his to lose, and I think it's just up to him to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, he could start turning into the proverbial LeBron James. He's been around forever, but man, come finals times, he's got a losing record. So as of right now, Yiheng also has that losing record come finals time. But I mean, he also has 9 consecutive world record averages. He started with 4.69, overtaking Max Park, and he's taken that 4.69 world record average all the way down to 3.91. So the longevity's there, but can he clutch up when you have just 5 solves to make it matter? I think that's a great point, Roz. We'll see where this takes his legacy.
Yeah, and I really hope. Look, with this, I know I'm a hardline Zhuan Yi supporter, but I really hope Yiheng can claim this to really make this year, the year of Yiheng Wang going forward. I want to shift a little bit while we're still on the worlds topic. Obviously, the big focus here is 3x3, but John, what do you think is going to be the biggest event to look out for when it comes to non 3x3 events?
Typically, I'm not someone who might say I enjoy this event, but dude, Pyraminx at Worlds 2025 is not to be slept on. It's going to be full of just a bunch of studs, right? So finals, the average speed around 1.2 to 1.4 seconds. There's a very tiny margin, so one mistake is going to make a massive difference. We want to expect multiple sub twos, maybe even a sub one average in finals. It really just depends on who shows up that day, right? So we got Sebastian Lee with an average of 115 with the current world record average. Ling Kun Jung close behind with the 1.2. And the defending champion Huang Ning Huang, probably butchered that, sorry bro, Consistium and podium finishes. So he's constantly up there at the top. So there's just so many names. You have Michael Nielsen, Edris Shear, Jasper Murray, all with sub 1.5s. Speed freaks like Simon Kellum, Elijah Brown. I cannot believe I care about this, but I care a lot about Worlds 2025 Pyramids. It's going to be wild.
Interesting. That's not the choice I would have expected out of you, but yeah, I mean, you've made me hype for it now. Now my pick is a bit more of a traditional one. I'm going to go with actually 5x5. Now, every single event at Worlds is going to have the most stacked field ever. And I mean that quite literally. Probably will be the most competitive across all events. But why do I think 5x5? It's because of this guy, dude. Timon Koloshinsky has taken 5x5 to an entirely new level, one that was thought to be ruled exclusively by Max Park. Even though Yao has been surging over the last several years, no one was able to come close to Max. And now that Max has lost the world record single and Timon is 0.03 seconds behind on WR average, that is going to be an amazing battle to look forward to. Remember, Timon did win 4x4 and 6x6 at the last World Championship, which upended, the world order, I would say, in big cubes. And so he's got his sights on another one. If he can put that together and maybe something magical happens in 7x7 and even 3x3, then Timon now is knocking on the door of being one of the all-time greats. I think only Felix and Max have ever won 3 through 7 at any combination of world championships before.
We're having to argue that Timon might be knocking at the door of the all-time greats. Sure. Anyway, I feel like this might be a little bit of a controversial pick. I'm going with 2x2 for one reason and one reason only. All right. I think that the potential here for a potential Theodore Yiheng rivalry to start in the 2x2 field and potentially expand to other fields in the future, I think that's ripe with possibility. Look, the leap, I think we talked about this last time, the leap that Theodore has taken into being this guy's really got something going on, I feel like there's a high potential where we might not see that 3x3 competition at the same level yet, but going into 2x2, and that's not to mention everyone else competing and all the other dominant 2x2 solvers in the world. I know there are a lot of people who critique it, saying it's really kind of a luck-based event at some level, but I don't know. I think there's a really high potential for stuff beyond the solves to get started in 2x2.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's a good way to put it. I mean, I also never thought I would care about two by two or Pyraminx, but there's just so many personalities here, right? I mean, the amount of storylines that are going to come out at Worlds. The cool thing is it's not going to again end here. This is where it's going to start. We have so many young characters. We don't have a bunch of veterans that are hoping for one last hurrah. They're long gone. Sorry, guys. I mean, these kids are here. They're going to dominate. I mean, our old guys are guys like Timon, which is crazy to hear. So, yeah, just more new faces, more new storylines. And then with what Manu's saying here, maybe the old grizzled vet like Timon can add on to the legacy. But I'm excited to see all the new up and comers that really start something new here.
One of the things I was thinking about when I was trying to come up with the answer for this segment was maybe potentially I throw an even 7x7. Everyone knows how much I personally despise 7x7, but some amazing results have come out of Asia over the last several weeks. Lim Hung getting WR2, and I think he's like within a second of the WR single now. And then Emmanuel Cao also getting the WR2 mean. So now suddenly that race is now interesting. I mean, Max has had a huge advantage on that field. I mean, easily for a better part of the decade at this point. But even that's becoming interesting now. So I think if you're gonna watch Worlds and you're thinking, oh, like whatever, the event, I don't like Pyraminx is my favorite event. I'm really only gonna watch Pyraminx and sure 3x3 finals because these guys keep talking about it. No, I think that's like a huge mistake. I think you should watch every single final. And like there is no reason not to because they are all going to be A, incredibly well produced, but B, the storylines and the quality of the competitors this year is just absurd. You're really doing yourself a disservice if you're not tuning into Worlds this year.
You better tune in, people. SpeedcubingTv, get that. Look, WCA, get on that Worlds broadcast. It's going to be legendary, or as our producer and overlord Matthew Marinick says, electric. Moving on to highlight of the week, I'd like to present you with the greatest average to ever get third place at the event where it happened. We've got Bofon with the 10th. He's now the 10th person to get a sub 5 average. Manu, John, break this down. How much impact does this have?
I think it's amazing. So for one, after Chris Mills' video on GAN SSL, I think Bofun has captured the hearts of many speed cubers and just many competitors, spectators across the world, right? This kid is incredible, and he has just a huge smile on his face every time he's competing. Now, I believe this footage is not actually from his 498 average that he just got, but it's just massive to see, right? Another face has joined the sub 5 average crew. I think, yeah, so now there are 10 of them. I think 6 of them are Chinese competitors, which is pretty impressive. He also knocks off Maddie, who was previously WR10. He actually improved his PR not too long ago also, but unfortunately not good enough. He had 502. So these guys, they're peaking at just the right times, and it's all leading up to Worlds. I mean, we've been saying this for months at this point, but the script just writes itself.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it on how it affects like Worlds, the bigger picture. But how does it affect the most important thing, the United States of America? It knocks Maddie out of that top 10. So what's he? What kind of motivation is that going to stir up? Now he's out of the top 10. He doesn't have that sub 5. He's right on the verge of it, and that in Maddie's head he's going to get that sub 5. He knows he's capable of it. He knows he can get it at home. He's waiting for that breakthrough moment. So is this going to be that motivation he needs to go into Worlds, defend his home turf, and really show who the greatest country in the world is?
I mean, let's get. Can we get real? Can we get real here? There ain't no one from the U.S. getting podium in the 3x3. I'm sorry, but it's so over.
Max has a chance. Max Park absolutely has a chance to win this tournament. Mark my words.
Max 1 bajillion% has a chance. It might be narrow, but out of the American field, Max and Maddie have the best chance. And yeah, I mean, Max has just been amazingly consistent. That's just his brand of speed cubing, right? Like, it's very rare that you're going to see him have like a mid-6 average. Like, most of the time, he's going to have like a mid-5 or low-5 average. And if the rest of the field crumbles, Max is going to be there, and he's going to show up in the big moments, just like Worlds 2023. Maddie, on the other hand, like I said, he's peaking at the right time, and Seattle is his second home. He knows the area very well. He's not going to feel like a fish out of water, even though he's from the Big Island, he's from Hawaii, he's built the whole persona around it. But trust me, he's working very, very hard towards it. And he certainly thinks he has a run at not just podium. He thinks he has a chance to win it all.
West Coast cubing propaganda. Well, I think I think that's going to be all the time that we have here for Plus 3. Unfortunately, we didn't answer last week's question of Epley versus Zhuan Yi's, but maybe we'll answer it next week. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think. Tell us how big the Yiheng sub 4 average is. Give us your thoughts on Worlds. If you want to tell us how much we suck, go ahead, just hit that like button and that subscribe button while you're at it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time on Plus 3.